You're listening to Biz-Souls, the business podcast with an edge, hosted by me, Rona Lewis, and Jeffrey Hansler. Tune in for perspectives and discoveries about the changing world of business. It's time to connect to the heart, soul, and humor of how business gets done. Hi-ho, kids, and welcome to Biz-Souls. I'm Rona Lewis.
I'm Jeffrey Hansler, and we get to the heart and soul of business and the people that make it happen.
Yes, and today we're talking chocolate. I'm so excited. So I met these guys at this year's Natural Products Expo, and I'm going to read their bio first, and then you can talk. All right. So Graham Bailey is the founder and CEO of Mana, right? Mana Chocolate. Did I pronounce that right? Yippee.
We say Mana, but
Mana.
Yeah, close enough.
Mana, potato. Okay, Mana. He is also the co-owner in a print and packaging business and always had an interest in nutrition and wellness. He met Lee Ribeiro while handling the packaging needs of a wellness brand he was working with. Lee is the COO and wizard formulator. I think this is the first time we've had a wizard on the show. He's an entrepreneur building functional nutrition and beverage brands. Brands. It was a late night. Focused on performance and well-being, specializing in bringing innovative wellness products to market. And their goal has been to build a brand that brings a truly elevated experience to the functional space. They started with chocolate bars and are currently working on RTD beverage formulations. What is RTD? Fellas.
It's a ready-to-drink cocktail.
Oh,
nice.
Okay. You know, there are acronyms for everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's clear. If that's a ready-to-drink cocktail, that's very well distilled. Nice job, guys.
Well, and we'll dive into it, but it's a proprietary twist cap that injects the liquid, or in this case, water.
Yeah.
With the functional blends. So
Wow.
Very cool.
It's a really cool thing we're working on right now. I know it's completely outside of chocolate, but something we're working on.
Well, that's fun.
All right, well, ask
sounds
your
like
question.
creative. So, and this is normally, for one, so both of you can answer this. What did you guys want to be when you grew up? What were the dreams when you were...
Willy Wonka.
For me, it was always a Formula One driver or an NBA player or a musician. Those have been the
Very
three.
similar. Yeah, very similar. Okay.
Yeah. I competed in sports in college as a swimmer, so trying to make the Olympic team was a goal, but fell short. And entrepreneur, I always wanted to start something. I wasn't sure what it would be. I never had that firm grasp on it, but I knew I had the inclination to want to do something on my own.
And so then how did you guys get together and how this merge into this very creative and expanding product line company?
And delicious, I might add.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, we so over the last few years we've been working on a different wellness brand. He being the COO at that company and myself being on the packaging side, and we just realized that there was we had a lot of similarities in thought, a lot of similarities in things that we had hoped for and wanted to create. And so, throughout that time, as he decided to step away from that role, it became an opportunity for us to step in and do something together. And that's where Mana came, and that's what we've been working on.
Nice. So, how did you come across, all the ingredients? What makes you different than regular chocolate or anything else in the market?
Yeah, what have you got over Pennsylvania and Hershey's?
Well, everything lately, or European chocolate. But aren't there adaptogens and stuff in it?
Yes, there's a whole host of nootropics and adaptogens. For me, it's always been networking and meeting a lot of people, being a relationship forward person, and you meet special individuals along the way. And I've met some pretty good formulators that have taught me a lot along the way for beverages. And, then you start doing some research on what transfers over to chocolate, and other SKUs. And that's kind of, been my story on formulation, just learning from a lot of good people. But yeah, what sets us apart is we have really good sourcing for these adaptogens. So, we have a really good partnership with our functional mushroom supplier in San Diego, M2 Ingredients. They give us really good product, and then just trial and error. Ordering things that didn't work, not using those things anymore, going with suppliers that weren't super reliable, and then changing to newer ones. And that's kind of been, I guess, the experience over time has been our edge.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and I'll even add another thing to it. So part of it is that brands in the space, when you want to take a standard chocolate, your cocoa butter, your cocoa liquor, your milks, whatever it is you're putting in there, if you want to add additional ingredients to it, that just adds complexity to what you're trying to produce, and so Lee's coming up with these incredible formulations that do give you a boost in energy or a cognitive enhancement or whatever it is that we've been working towards. But then it's how do you add that to the chocolate and make it still taste good, and without adding a bunch of junk. We don't want to add cocoa mass, which is just
right.
It's
Terrible.
just something that makes the chocolate not taste great, in our opinion. And so trial and error. It took us over a year working through formulations back and forth with our chocolatier to come up with blends that we thought were efficacious on what we're trying to produce here, but also with the chocolate that tastes good.
Well, and that was the big thing that, when I tasted your chocolate when I was there, it tasted like chocolate, and it was like the milk. And I happen to be, and I get yelled at all the time. I'm a milk chocolate girl, and it tasted like milk chocolate better. I mean, and the dark chocolate didn't, it didn't make me cringe, because sometimes you have dark chocolate and it's so bitter that it doesn't, I can't taste anything else. So this was nice and smooth, and, mushrooms sometimes can give it a nice umami flavor. Other times it can be like, what am I biting into? So that's why I was impressed with it, because I'm a little picky. So, so you guys are lucky you're on the show. I'm kidding, but it was very good. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we made sure to make it a chocolate forward experience through a lot of effort and trial and error, like Graham said. But yeah, I think we achieved that.
So you're based in California, and California is known for all the regulations. So how have you been crossing those hurdles?
Again, this is, just through experience creating products with other brands. It's, you meet this compliance person, that compliance person. We have consultants on the compliance side to make sure we're good. We always run it through, that channel first. Yeah, trial and error once again.
Yeah.
And then funding. How did you get? Are you self-funding this, or did you completely? So you've thrown everything in here.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's something we believe in. We actually do think this is a really good product.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we're in a position where we can actually make those investments into this and take the risk. Of course, it is a risk, but we're just lucky to be in a place where we can do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's what life is. It's one. If you don't take risks, then you kind of lead a complacent life. So, as a fellow entrepreneur, well, both of us, yay for you. So what was your favorite thing about this, and what sucked? What was about starting it?
I think it's almost one and the same. The thing that sucked is like figuring out how to make it work. And I remember there were a few times that you would eat the chocolate, it tasted great, and then no experience would come. You're like, And then there were times you'd eat it, and it, like you said, some of the bitterness, some of the umami, some of these, they would punch forward a little bit too much, and you're like, oh damn it, the experience was there. So I'd say the most fun was when we had actually produced the samples across the variations, and they came in and they just hit. You eat it like, oh, that's nice. And then here it comes, like you the boost of energy I felt, or the cognitive enhancement, or just the relaxing from the serene. That moment was a big relief.
I bet.
Yeah, my favorite thing has been the feedback from people like at Expo West coming back for more samples, telling us that they actually felt the different SKUs and the functions that they were supposed to serve.
Yeah.
Also, how smoothly everything came together for Expo West. We had a lot to do, and the team just worked together really, really well. We're all low stress individuals, and even when we're high stress, we can communicate.
Yeah, I can't tell. Just exactly the same. It's because you're eating all the adaptogens on you.
Yeah. Right.
So did you have enough samples for everybody at the expo?
Just barely. Like we had a handful left over when we left.
Because there were like, how many thousands of people went through there? It was
I mean, we were
huge.
making samples throughout the show
Throughout
as
the
we
show.
were going, bringing more every day. But yeah,
Yeah.
we hung in there.
Yeah, we went through many thousands of those individual squares.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work to get those ready, but worth it.
Yeah.
So the spaces that you're in is very crowded. I mean, Trader Joe's has their own. Everybody's got their own brand, or private labeling a brand. And then you've got the Swiss coming in with their stuff,
Well,
the foreign
that's just
stuff.
that's just regular chocolate. Though.
Right. So how are you getting the word out on this? Are you going strictly retail? Can they buy direct? Are you? I mean, Expo West, you were trying to get
Distribution.
distribution, or is it to get retail awareness?
Honestly, for us, I think we went into it with the understanding that we weren't 100% sure what was going to come out of it, whether it be distribution or brand awareness, or finding some e-commerce marketing companies who we could work with. In the subsequent weeks, I think it's been more obvious to us that the direct consumer approach is going to be the smarter approach for us initially. We have been in talks with distributors, and we think that there's a strong path there. But like we said, we just launched, so we do need to build a little bit of brand awareness and go through the Amazons and the Metas, the Googles, the TikToks, and our own site. So right now the bars are available at monobars.com. You're more than welcome to go there and buy as many as you want.
Please.
So direct to consumer is going to be our biggest push, and we are in final contract stages with a really great marketing company to help us get the advertising out there and start pushing it.
Yeah, the good thing is, as a result of the expo, we have all the options available to us. It's been interesting having all those meetings and finding out what they all entail, how much cost they entail, and e-commerce for sure. I agree with Graham. Definitely a good first move.
Well, and also what will help, because perception is everything. Your packaging is beautiful. It's simple. It's elegant, and it's very classy. It's very upscale. Yeah, so I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we did have an approach with that in terms of just how it looks. We want it to be, we want it to feel accessible. Not so overpriced that it completely freaks you out. But we did want to produce the highest quality bar we could, and we want the packaging to reflect that.
Right. Right. Yeah, you don't want it to. Your market isn't the Hershey's Kiss crowd.
No.
So.
Yeah, and I appreciate those comments. The brand that I was working with before had beautiful packaging too, but it was really, really loud. And that was one of the things where, as I left that brand and came to this one, we had a completely different philosophy. But one of the things that surprised me the most was the reaction to the packaging was equally as positive, even though they're so different from one another. So I love hearing that. Thank you very
Nice.
much.
Good.
So I just saw there was just a big article on how the influencers have taken over Coachella and on Burning Man and everything else. Is that something are you looking for influencers, or are they coming to you? Have you gone down that way from a marketing standpoint, or are you going to leave that over to the new marketing group you're talking to?
We're in Coachella. We got lucky enough to meet Rivian at Expo West, and we did a day over there of activations at their facility. Met a bunch of the employees that were really, really cool. The facility's amazing, and they put our chocolate in their welcome kit for their influencers. So
Nice.
we had a Coachella event with 50, I believe it was 50 influencers trying the chocolates, doing some social media stuff.
So
That's awesome.
Dipping our toes into the water there, but yes, as you're saying, the marketing companies. Amongst the rollout plan, one of those are to go through the influencer outreach, and one thing that we do feel pretty confident about is that when people do try it, they will have a good experience and they will enjoy the taste of the chocolate. So yeah, we know that that's the way the world's moving, where a lot of people are being influenced by what somebody says online, and fortunately, we feel like we have a product that would actually they would want to push.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's nice. So. Did you have a question?
Well, I do, and I you don't have to answer this if you feel it's giving anything away. Did you put together your own factory, or are you having it done by somebody else?
No, one of the things that we told Rona when we met her in person, and everybody else we've spoken to, is transparency is one of our biggest things. So we source all of our mushrooms out of Southern California. The production's handled out of Portland. Same thing with fulfillment. We have a great partner up there. They've been wonderful to us and helped us figure out the best ways to manufacture the chocolate within the specifications that we had. So no, we're not trying to handle everything in house. I mean, it doesn't make sense for us to.
It's a lot.
That is our expertise is in building up the brand and creating the formulations. Like that's what we do well, and we'll leave it to the experts to help us produce the best possible bar we can.
Yeah. You
However,
guys-
we are doing manufacturing these beverages. That's in house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to talk about that, or is it a secret?
I mean, we're kind of like extending the offerings. Right now, we're talking about the exact 3 SKUs we're going to do. We want it to be an extension. So 3 different flavors. I don't want to talk too much about the specifics right now,
Okay.
but yeah, we do own the manufacturing on that one. They will be function forward, just like the chocolates, and all health and wellness.
Nice.
Good for you.
So let's talk about. Sorry, did I just? Step
You always
over
interrupt
Yeah,
with that,
I always
and that's
go.
beside the point. So
I have no problem with that.
The
Okay.
link between all the products, the link between your product line is all about health, all about energy. Is health and
Well,
energy
wellness, yeah.
and wellness and
We would say functional wellness, and by functional we mean through functional mushrooms and nootropics. So some form of a blend, typically with the functional mushroom as the hero product in there, the thing that really helps kind of drive forward the experience. So if the experience is energy or cognitive enhancement or just being able to chill a little bit, or in the case of some of the beverages, looking at some different experiences that we can move towards that would be better suited towards an RTD, the ready to drink model, versus more of an indulgence like the chocolate bars.
So do you feel that the drinks will be for the crowd who is easing up on alcohol?
100%
And still want-
is one of the
Yeah.
areas that we're targeting. I think we pay close attention to what's happening in terms of like ingredients that are coming out, new methods for these ingredients. Like fermentation was one of the things at Expo West, but we're always listening to what problems are currently being solved and what ingredients are being created to solve new problems. But we're always trying to solve a very specific problem, and health and wellness, at the forefront.
So my son worked for a guy who's a serial entrepreneur with beverages, and when he starts the company, his plan is to run it until Pepsi or Coke buy it. So I know it's in advance. You're just starting out. Is this going to be a lifelong project, or was it in the back of your mind that one of the companies is going to pick it up, like maybe one of the alcohol companies, Bacardi
Or Nestle?
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a part of your mind that goes, man, that'd be amazing if some whale came along and they offered us something that's just life changing. That of course it'd be wonderful, but at the end of the day, like it's hard to think that way. So the plan is to run it as well as we can for as long as we can, and if something like that were to come along and it's just too good to pass up, then of course we're going to have that conversation with amongst ourselves, the team and our families, and figure out what's best. But it's hard to function thinking that that's going to be exactly what happens. There's a difference between theory and practice.
Right.
Good point.
Right.
I think as an entrepreneur, you're always creating something for an end goal, right? But as as a musician, I like to make music for myself and make sure it's the best I can possibly make it. And if I succeed in that, then other people will resonate with it and really enjoy it. And I feel like it's a similar concept for, creating really good, valuable products that solve problems. And then there will be positivity on the other side.
Excellent.
Excellent. Let's have an Austin Powers moment. $1 billion.
That's right. There we go. So tell us where they can find where our watchers and listeners can find your chocolate, and you guys break it down into the different light, dark, etc., and what's in each one on the website, right?
Yeah, so Manabars, Manabars. So manabars.com is where you can find them. We've got, essentially, we have 9 SKUs, 3 experiences. And so we have Uplift, which is for an energy boost. The 2 squares will get you there. Same thing with Serene, which is more of a relaxing type of experience. And then Focus is more of a cognitive blend. I will let him dive into the blends, but for each one of those, you can get it in a dark, which is about a 70%. We have a milk, and then we have what we call ivory, which is just a white chocolate, but it's sweetened with maple sugar. So it's a little bit darker than your standard. The sweetness is a little bit different. We're not using refined sugars. So the maple sugar on the ivory, and then coconut sugar sweetening the dark and milk. But so yeah, we've just wanted to make sure that there may not be a lot of white chocolate lovers out there, but the ones who are, they're advocates, and so we
Right.
want to make sure that they're covered. And the rest of the folks who love milk or dark, they can make their choice.
My brother thanks you, so he likes white chocolate. There.
The amount of people who actually came up to us and said they were thankful to have a white chocolate option was kind of funny. Didn't expect it.
Yeah, white chocolate, I ate a lot of it as a kid, and I got really sick of it for what I thought was going to be my life. And ours, actually, because it's a little bit unique with the maple sugar and some of the functional ingredients in there, it's just different enough to like get me back in, and now it's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, it's not quite as that cloyingly sweet
Right.
that regular white chocolate. So I think we should let the viewers explore your website, and if they have any questions, what's your emails? Share your emails, and then we got to rock and roll.
Mine's Lee at themanacompany.com.
Okay.
And mine's Graham, Graham at the Mana Company.
Not Graham. Graham.
There you go.
I got to work on that pronunciation.
Yeah,
myself.
okay.
I was actually
wife is
addressing that
gonna
to
laugh
you,
at this.
Lee. So, all right.
Outstanding.
That is it for us. Did you want to ask him about tips or anything? Or
Yeah, any tip? You're starting out. Yeah, everybody hits. Things happen, or you said, what I should have done. Any quick tips for fellow entrepreneurs?
I mean, for me, it's been persistence. There's always going to be fires. There are always going to be fires to put out. You got to stay in it. The more time you spend in it, the more relationships you acquire along the way, and the more solutions you have to these problems. And I think, relationship forward is the key thing for me. I really do treat people the way I want to be treated, and help each other out, sort of thing. Don't just, see what other people can do for you, but what can you do for other people? And I think with time, success will happen.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'll piggyback on that. 2 things. One is it never happens as fast as you hope it does.
right.
So, just some patience goes a long way. The frustrations, let them happen, and just keep moving forward. As long as you have some persistence there and patience, that goes a long way. So I would highly encourage anybody who's considering it, just understand it doesn't go as fast as you want. And that piggybacks on, during my master's, there was a paraphrase, but basically it was, in theory, there is no difference between theory and practice, but in practice there is.
Oh, I love that.
That's great.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it's just like, look, you could map it out as much as you want in your mind, like you said, like, hey, we have this plan to do this, but theory is one thing, practice is another. And just accepting.
And
that
then
you
there's
can't
Murphy's
control the
Law.
variables.
So there.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, fellas, thank you so much for coming on here. I didn't have a lot of people this year from the Natural Products Expo on. I was very picky, and I was just so happy that I found your chocolate and you guys, and I wish you the best of luck with that, and hopefully we will see you in a lot more places coming soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having me.
guys. Congratulations so far.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
of course. All right, and that is it for us. I'm Rona Lewis,
I'm Jeffrey Hansler.
and this has been Biz-Souls. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Biz-Souls podcast with your hosts, Rona Lewis and Jeffrey Hansler. Did you have fun? Subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Talk to you next week.